Enterprise, so you need to visual separation with him. Contact Boston Tower 128.8.
28.8, take it easy, 57.
See ya.
Centuries ago, famed mathematician Katherine Johnson wrote, "The whole idea of going into space was new and daring. There were no textbooks, so we had to write them." Now, the United Federation of Planets stands on a new brink of exploration and learning, yet again pushing beyond the bounds of contemporary understanding, and for a new dawn proclaim proudly once again, these are the Voyages of.
Captain's log. Federo Hoth has ventured out to the Gamma Quadrant to entertain the crew. Our con officer also happens to be his daughter. I, for one, am not drawn to his music the way others are, but I find it to be a very fitting respite while we continue exploring the quadrant.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Voyages of. I'm Matt, and we're gonna get getting it started. Welcome to the Voyages of here on Rook and Rasp. We'll be following the story of the USS Cerynitis as it continues its mission to explore the Gamma Quadrant. We're using the Star Trek Adventures RPG rules from Modiphius. As a reminder, we are in no way affiliated with Modiphius. We just really enjoy their game. As I said, I'm Matt. I'm going to be running tonight. Joining me is Amber Jacoba, playing Commander Halata. Phil Durham as Lieutenant Commander Zeke Cooper. Shawn Parks as Lieutenant Commander Keed Haskins, MD, I guess. And Roxanne Thompson as Lieutenant Victra Aishan-Hoth with her fancy hyphenated name. It's fancy. We open up with the Cerynitis in orbit around a kind of a desolate rock. Not quite a planet, not quite sphered, but kind of craggy and looks much like what you would expect an asteroid, just a really big asteroid. And sitting next to it is a Bajoran transport ship. And we kind of follow in as the camera tightens in on the ship a little bit. We find ourselves in the transporter room as both Commander Halata and Lieutenant Commander Cooper walk in not not the standard like dress uniforms, but clearly slightly nicer uniforms that they would wear for formal events. Behind the transporter controls is a Benzite Ensign Minden, and he, as the commander and lieutenant commander come in, he nods and then initiates the transport. And a gentleman, a Deltan gentleman, appears and materializes on the pad along with a couple other people. But the Deltan gentleman steps down off of the pad and walks right over to the commander and says, Commander, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Federo Hoth.
Federo Hoth, welcome aboard. I hope the transport went smooth for you.
Oh, it was great. We had a good trip out here. I've not been to the Gamma Quadrant before, and it's nice to finally get out here and see such a fine ship. I hear you have some of the best crew members, especially on the bridge.
We do indeed. I'll go ahead and introduce. You said
Zeke is with you.
Zeke was with me. Yeah. This is Commander Cooper, our diplomat.
Commander Cooper, it's a pleasure to meet you. As I said, I'm Federo Hoth. I'm sure you've heard of me. Most people have.
Oh yes, I'm one of your biggest fans. I can't believe this. I'm going to try to restrain myself, but if there's anything I can do for you while you're on the ship, please let me know. I'd be happy to give you a tour or to, help you out with anything on the ship. Yeah.
Of course, it's always a pleasure to meet a fan. I'll tell you what. I'll make sure that we get a chance to sit down and talk, and maybe you can pick my brain while I'm here.
Oh my God, I can't imagine. That'd be great.
So, would it be possible to see your bridge? I've not been on the bridge of a Galaxy class ship before.
I'll look to the commander.
Yes, that should be absolutely fun.
All right. So the three of you kind of go through the hall. The other three people that come off the transporter pad are civilians bringing data, like scientific data that can't be just transmitted to the scientific team. You knew they were coming, and it's not a big deal for it. No big deal for them to come aboard. They know what they're doing. This is the first time you've had civilians doing this. So they go about their business. The transporter chief watches you leave, and then as the doors close, stands there quietly, all by himself. I always feel bad for the transporter chiefs because they're just like, when they're needed, oh yeah, it's like 5 minutes worth of work, and then the rest of the time they just kind of twiddle their thumbs, I guess.
They're probably cleaning buffers or something.
Yeah, playing solitaire on their little tablets, probably.
They're narrowing the annular confinement beam constantly.
Oh, there's a good one. Yeah.
If Voyager has taught me anything, just if something's wrong, narrow your annular confinement beam.
Sounds like Roxy's pushing to play the engineer next.
They're also trying to make sure that if they beam someone aboard, they're not going to create a duplicate clone of them.
That's true. Although, you can never have too many of some people, I guess.
Lots of recreational math.
Let's blend some. Let's just,
we
have too many people. Let's just take two and blend them into one.
A little Tuvix.
Just a little bit.
Well, I think we need a Victra. We can merge Victra and Zeke. Yeah.
Oh, that's exactly what you want. You want the punchy one to be the ship's counselor and ambassador.
You will get better.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. That sounds like a great plan. So the three of you walk through. You stop at his quarters so he can drop off his bag. He is on deck 8, which is kind of where you put a lot of where you would put any kind of diplomatic people on diplomatic missions or special guests, anyone that doesn't end up in a kind of a crew quarter. One of the things that I don't think our players are aware of is all of you have decent rooms. Like you have a bed and like a little sitting area. Some of the lower crew members, especially ones that are not in senior staff who get special permissions and special bonuses, they're in like bunk rooms in a lot of cases. Or if they have a room, it's like a bed and a desk and that's it. And there's just enough room in that closet that they live in for them to sleep in. And so his diplomatic suite is a little more spacious than what most crew members get, but that's kind of what's expected. He does drop off a couple of bags, and then that a couple more bags will be coming over. He's brought several instruments with which to regale the crew with quite a few musical numbers. There's a couple of planned concerts. Sorry, just a second. The three of you head on to the bridge, and on the turbo lift up, he has been quite genial the whole time. You wouldn't call him the life of the party, but he definitely knows how to carry a conversation and keep it going. I would like both of you to roll a presence and either medicine or science. Oh, and we are starting at 4 momentum and 8 threat. I don't know how much those are actually going to come into play, and the difficulty on this is 2.
Diplomacy, composure.
We'll say composure can apply.
All right, it's been a hot minute. We're trying to get under, right?
Right. So you're going to roll 2d20. Each one of those 20s, independent of each other, you want to get underneath that added up number of your presence and science or medicine. So you got 2 successes?
Yes.
I got 1.
Okay. So Zeke, you start noticing, like, you are a fan. There's no question about that. You start to feel something else. And it's not overwhelming, just that there's this emotion of like adoration that grows a little bit more now that you've been speaking with him. And he's not said anything. You guys are doing small talk. There's nothing that he's said that's been like mind blowing. He's had some questions about the ship. He's had some questions about the things you've done out here that you guys can talk about. But it's just like the more you talk to him, the more relaxed and the more happy you feel. And you note that, and as you do, you you realize that Deltons have a pheromone that they don't necessarily have the fullest of control of. But you know that in reading Victra's file, she's only half Delton, so that changes some of it. But also, she has made choices to make sure that her pheromones are not a problem for the rest of the crew. But he's not like purposefully like swaying anybody, but it's just like this is how Deltons are. They just have this pheromone that makes them easier to be around. And it's kind of nice and not even more than what it would have been just, meeting kind of one of your heroes, I guess. And as the doors open to the bridge, he smiles and he says, please show me around, Commander. Victra, you are sitting in your con position to hear your father's voice say, please show me around, Commander. You've known probably for a couple of weeks that he was coming. Not a lot of travel to the to the Gamma Quadrant, so this was planned far out in advance. But that doesn't mean that you've prepared yourself as perfectly for this interaction.
I keep my eyes on my work. I am working right now, and that takes precedent over family visits.
Fantastic. And Doctor, you're actually on one of your few like bridge crew command rotations. Like you have a couple every couple of weeks just to keep you like in the seat occasionally. You're sitting there not really doing anything. You're literally letting people beam on the ship. They put you in some of the lower stress situations to just make sure that you get your time in. Not that they don't trust you. It's just that like if something were to happen, you were going to call the captain anyway. Anybody can do that. Right. So, but you are sitting in the command seat as the commander comes in. She is on duty, but not on bridge duty.
Again, real quick, what was the name of
Federo?
Federo.
Federo Hoth.
I'm going. When the turbo lift opens, I'm going to stand up and welcome to the Cerynitis, Federo Hoth. I wasn't expecting you to come up to the bridge right away. Is there anything you would like to see?
I've not been on the a bridge of a Galaxy class ship, and I'm sure that there's plenty up here I'd like to see.
Yeah, he's got his nose in everything again, I see.
You said that out loud enough for us all to kind of hear?
I mumble it disgruntledly.
I'm going to kind of do a sideways glance.
The poor ensign in in the ops chair just like side eyes you like, oh no, what am I about to be in the middle of?
Well, Mr. Hoth, well, I'm on duty, so I can't give you a tour of the bridge, but I'm sure Commander Halata would be happy to show you around and show you whatever you want.
Excellent.
With that, I'm going to sit back down and like start. No, I'm not exactly starstruck. Oh, he's Klingon opera singer, but I definitely appreciate his music.
So I will introduce him to the people on the bridge. I am sure I realize that his daughter is working, and I will say I'm sure she can visit with you when she's not working. And just show him around. These are the different stations.
Yeah, as you walk through, it's can I get Roxy, can I get you to roll, let's say, presence and security to kind of hide you're not super hiding what's going on, but and then the rest of you will roll insight and security to kind of pick up on what she's trying not to lay down.
What's our target?
Whatever
One
Roxy
second,
gets.
I forgot my sheet. Let's see. Well, I rolled a 17 and a 14, and you said control security?
No, presence security, and that's a 12 for you.
Yep. So yeah, that's a fail on both accounts, which makes sense.
So as long as as long as you guys got a single success, you will succeed in this. Yeah, there you go.
One success.
So
At a 17, by the way.
It is clear that there's a great deal of discomfort coming from your con officer as you're moving through, and Federo is kind of deftly maneuvering you not to con. Everywhere but con, he is maneuvering you there first, asking a question here and there. It's not so much that he's manipulating you outright, it's just more that he is avoiding something to do it last.
That makes perfect sense.
And as you kind of explain op station and let the poor ensign, who's a little worried what's going to happen next, let them explain the op station, he turns and says, well, finally we get to the best part of the ship, right? The star pilot of the flagship of this quadrant, my daughter.
I wasn't aware that you were aware of my my accolades. I haven't seen you at any of my promotion ceremonies, and I don't know, ever.
Well, you know how it goes. It's also hard to get out here. I heard.
In fact, I am a pilot. I do know how it goes.
He just smiles. So I heard that you got a commendation recently for acts of heroism in the line of combat. Is that correct?
I don't like to necessarily talk about things like that when I am on duty, but I did. I did receive a commendation. I did only what any other Starfleet officer would find themselves when pressed would have to do.
Fair enough. That's why they have the best of the best, right?
Indeed.
Commander,
Indeed.
do you think it would be possible that I could steal my daughter away for a little bit?
I don't think that's a good idea. This is a very important job that I'm doing right now. Guiding us through this part of space.
The ensign looks around like, where's this important job?
A lot is going to take the not at all subtle hint.
Well, and I would also say that you feel slightly inclined to agree to him, to what he's asking. Not that you have to, but you just feel like, yeah, that wouldn't be so bad. And then Victra speaks up, and you're like, maybe she's, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be that bad, would it? Like, it's
a spatial anomaly 250,000 kilometers ahead of the ship that I think I need to be here for.
From the command seat, Keed, Lieutenant, have you finished that report that I asked you for?
No. I need to get to that.
Yeah, we need it done within the next 2 hours.
Oh,
that is quite urgent.
That is too bad. Well, I'm sure she'll get her reports done. I've heard that you have a a nice place to go and enjoy the front view of the ship. Is that the Dapple Dough? Is that what it's called?
Yes, absolutely. I'd be happy
Oh,
to
yeah.
show you there.
Straight for the bar. That sounds
Excellent.
like Dad.
Yeah. Well, travel is thirsty work. I'm sure you know all about that, don't you, Victra? You feel a kind of a pat on your chair. He doesn't touch you, but he like pats your chair and he says, "I will see you later. I look forward to spending some time with you."
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
So,
So
sorry, go ahead.
we'll leave the people to their work and go get you a drink. As you say, very thirsty.
So I'll
After-
probably try to hang back a little bit,
Sure.
and if I'm noticed, I'd just say I'll catch up with you.
Yeah, as
And
soon
then-
as they're gone, I'm like, ah.
Problems, Lieutenant?
Just a pain in my neck. That's all. I'll go to sick bay later.
I'll keep an eye out for you.
Commander Haskins, I'll walk closely to you so that I can speak, quietly. Not that people could probably overhear if they wanted to, but not necessarily like super quiet. Or whatever.
Right.
Okay. I'm sure you're familiar with Deltans and their, physiology,
Of
biology. And I think that maybe I noticed I was having some effects from their pheromones. Just wanted you, as the doctor and current, commander of the ship, to be aware of that.
Do you think it is something that we need to provide a suppressant for?
I don't know.
Are you going
I
to
want
need a
the
suppressant?
information known to command and to you as the medical doctor. I don't think there's anything we need to do immediately, but I want that information.
Right, because I'm
commonly
super
known.
jumpy after having the whole Bacchus incident. So I'm like, do you need a suppressor? Do we need to curtail this kind of thing?
I leave that decision to you, Commander.
Okay.
Um,
I'll note it.
and then it's Lieutenant Aishan-Hoth. I think that you and I should probably speak at some point. While there's certainly a personal, I'll say this quietly, to you, well, there's certainly a personal relationship here. In your duties, this is a guest on our ship.
I completely understand, sir. I did not expect him to appear on the bridge so quickly.
Fair enough.
Keed, could I get you to roll reason and medicine?
Sure.
You're looking for 2 successes, and we do have like 5 momentum. Chat bought a momentum. Chat also bought a threat. Just FYI.
Yeah,
Thank you, chat.
I'll buy 1 dice. I mean, my reason
Sure.
and medicine are pretty high, but better safe than
so
sorry.
That'll drop us back down to 4 momentum.
That is 4 successes. I mean 3. I'm sorry, 3 successes. I'm miscounting.
Well, then there's that momentum right back.
Yeah.
So real quick, we just mentioned in chat that you can name some NPCs. I've got a lot of NPCs to introduce in this. Now's the time to spend $3 and just slap a name on an NPC. Just saying.
Yeah. Federo has a plethora of musicians that travel with him.
Yeah, and 500 bits, you can cheer for us, and you get your name up on the big board too. Yeah, you recognize that you could put like a low level anti pheromone agent in the air. If it was short term, it'd be okay. The reason they don't do it long term is because it can cause headaches and dizziness and a bunch of other things. But for a day or 2, it wouldn't be the end of the world, and it might be a good idea. Having watched how he moved through the bridge, this is something he's used to doing, and he may not even be aware that he is doing it with his pheromones.
How long are they planning to be on the ship?
They've got he's essentially got 2 nights, so 3 days, 2 nights.
I'm going to note it down in the log. I'm going to recommend it, and we'll leave it up to the captain to decide, especially after the Bacchus incident. I don't want to step on his toes for those kind of command decisions, but I'm going to flag it as not urgent, but I don't know what's the step down below urgent, but like not that email that you automatically throw to the garbage.
Yeah, it's like
Priority.
high importance because I just
Yeah,
delete those emails.
yeah. Priority email or
Yeah.
priority
Okay.
message. Yeah, priority flag. Saying
Um,
that I don't think it's going to be an issue. Most of the crew will be used to dealing with Deltons, but given what's happened in the last couple of months, it might be a good idea for me to apply the suppressant.
yeah. Um, you get a message back that if you feel like that's the best course of action, to take it.
No one wants to make decisions.
If you say, like, are you saying this on the bridge where I can hear?
No, this would have been typing. I would have
Oh,
been
okay.
typing it in a data pad. I wouldn't have
But
been. I wouldn't have
I did
vocalized
hear
it.
or I did hear the counselor mention that
Yeah.
Yeah.
the pheromones. Then I'm going to turn around. If necessary, I do have a day scheduled off while he is here. I can potentially see if Ensign Stern can take over my station, and I can keep him away from the rest of the crew if that's what needs to happen.
I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem. I don't want you to put you in that position. I know how hard these family issues can be on a person, and I would not want to put myself at the beck and call of my mother on board the ship where I have little to no escape from her. If that's what you decide to do, that's fine, but I'm not going to ask you to do it, Lieutenant.
I appreciate that. There are ways to ignore the pheromones. My father is just very adept at knowing how to ply people when he needs to.
Do you think we should? I can apply a suppressant across the ship for a day or two. Do you think we should do that? Would that be your best advice? Knowing your
If you
dad?
can do that, yes, I think that's probably smart. He's not necessarily dangerous, but he's definitely. Well, let's just say I have a lot of siblings. I just would be careful. He hasn't
Yeah,
taken the oath as I have.
yeah, and the fact that he finagled his way onto the bridge within 20 minutes of arrival.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fast
it's
moving.
completely unprofessional. It's he's not used to dealing with ships like this
I
or armed
mean,
protocols.
he's a musician. I'm not expecting him to be up to Federation standards, but
But he's performed for like top diplomats and dignitaries in like 3 quadrants. You'd think that he would have some semblance of maybe I should exercise a little tact and wait for an invitation.
little restraint.
Ugh. Whatever. There's a
Well,
spatial anomaly.
don't forget that report.
Yes, I'm working on that with my left hand.
And then I'll use the command console to program the support life support system to start employing low levels of Star Trek babble because I'm not great
Sure.
on medicine.
You're narrowing the annular confinement beam to
And
make sure that Delton pheromones are not
wait, I've got it. I've got
not
it.
effective.
You're deploying a counter reagent.
There you go.
Yep. Where to go? I had it.
Anti-Delton retrovirus, just going out to the whole crew. They already don't like me, so it's like, what's new?
For
They
the record, I
like
think
you.
I'm
You
going to
keep
probably
the
have
ship in the air.
left the bridge before that conversation between
Yeah.
Victra and Keed.
Yeah. So you would need maybe 20 minutes down in the med bay.
Sick bay.
Sick bay, med bay, whichever
Jeez. Sick bay.
Star Trek term you want to use.
Yeah, you'd need like 20 minutes down there, or you could have one of several members of your staff handle it, Keed. It's just a matter of what you want to do and how you want to handle that.
Nurse Temple. Bajel Merritt.
So we find ourselves following. We are changing scenes, so we're going to lose momentum. We find ourselves following the first officer and Federo, just coming into the Dapple Dough. Behind the counter is the Orion who runs the Dapple Dough. His name is Doxy Goff. He's a very big man. Like we're talking like almost 7 feet tall, big muscles, but just the kindest, gentlest giant you could ever expect. Um, and he, as you walk in, he starts laughing loudly. And comes out from behind the counter and says, "Federo, it's good to see you," and like wraps him in this giant hug. And Federo seems to be chuckling as well. And as they like break, he says, "Come sit down." And he motions to a table. And Commander, you are forgotten all about. Like they have,
Wonderful.
yeah. They go and sit down. They start talking. He Federo orders Acamarian brandy, and then kind of as it comes out, he kind of sips on it a little bit, and as they talk back and forth, I assume you join them as well, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And do you also order something alcoholic?
No, I'm endeavoring to keep my wits about me just in case, because so much weird stuff's been going on.
Sure, sure. They start talking. It's clear that they've known each other for years. Doxy used to run a bar at one of Federo's favorite joints that like he would play at regularly when he was on tour. They start laughing and joking, and then finally, Federo says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Commander. I assume you know Doxy, but he and I are old friends."
No need to apologize at all. It's good to see you reconnecting with people you know.
So it's my understanding we'll be playing here tonight, right?
If that's correct, I say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Good.
That is correct.
The second floor will give good acoustics, give more people a chance to see us. Yeah, this will be great. I believe your captain will be in attendance,
I believe that is the plan.
and I hope to see you here as well.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic. Uh, well, I don't want to keep you from any of your duties. I'm going to catch up a little bit more with Doxy here, and then get a little unpacked, and then get my band together. Do a quick rundown to make sure we're all limbered up and nothing fell off during space travel. It's hard to play some instruments without all 11 digits.
Sure.
So if unless you want to stick around, you're welcome to. But I think I'm good.
If you need anything, the computer knows where to find me.
Excellent. Zeke, did you head that direction?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you walk in, you see that exchange, and you see the commander kind of stand up, smiling in a very diplomatic way as she moves away from the table, um, and you see the Federo and the bartender just kind of chatting away.
Commander, if you don't mind, I might continue to entertain our guests.
Absolutely. Apparently, he knows Doxy from times before coming out here, so
Fabulous.
yeah.
So then I would approach and ask if I could join them.
Oh, absolutely. What are you drinking?
Well, I'll have what you're having.
So Doxy motions, and one of the servers comes over and brings a couple more drinks, one for you and one for Federo, who's finished his first. It is Acamarian brandy, which is spicy. It's a very spicy alcohol. Um,
I'm
along
not
with
going
the
to take a sip and have an allergic reaction, am I?
no, not this time. That's only when the Romulans try and poison you and it fails.
Okay.
Yeah, you've had some bad times in the dough. Huh. Awkward. The two of them include you in the conversation, but it doesn't really go anywhere important. Like they talk about the old times and tours and just things about what Federo's been doing. Uh, can I get you to give me, let's say, insight? Insight science and psychology will work as a focus.
Insight and science. All right. What's my difficulty?
You're
or
looking for
whatever?
2.
Can I buy a momentum? Does anybody mind?
No, go for it.
That'll put us down to 3.
3 successes, so I earned that right. Well, I guess I could potentially ask for more information, but
Well, I'm sorry. How many did you get?
3.
3. Oh, excellent. So you got 1 back. You you start to pick up on the fact that either Federo is very very happy in his lifestyle, or he is nursing a great deal of loneliness, and that connections like he has with Doxy are unique to him. Like he maybe has a handful of people that he has a connection to, and he doesn't see them but every so very rarely often.
So upon realizing that, I would say, gentlemen, this has been a blast. I have, unfortunately, other duties to attend to, but I will probably be back. I will definitely be back here and be in the front row for tonight's performance, if you'll excuse me.
Yeah, of course, Commander. If you want to have a chat sometime, either later tonight after the set or tomorrow, let me know. I know that the holodecks on this ship are supposed to be legendary, and I'd like to go hiking. There's some places on Earth that I'd like to see again.
I'll quickly think to myself, are we near any nebula?
No, no. I put you next to a dead rock for a reason.
Well, perhaps tomorrow morning for a hike. We can set it to see the sun, to see a sunrise.
Excellent. That'd be great. And you kind of wander out, and they keep talking. Doxy doesn't seem to be going back to work anytime soon, and Federo has a couple hours at least before he has to be ready to perform. So, where are you headed?
I assume I have an office to do
Sure.
counseling or whatever, so back to work.
Excellent. Before we jump forward to the concert that night, does anyone have anything they want to do between now and then?
I will probably at some point go and speak with my father before the concert. But also, if the ambassador wanted to discuss things before the concert, I would be available after my shift.
I wouldn't reach out to you to like be after shift. I'm just, intended to be, but if you reach out to me, I would make myself available. I don't know. We really need to role play that. For the most part,
Okay,
said
that's fine.
what I.
Yeah.
Say.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was being.
Make it clear that it's like I'm not gonna like tell.
No.
whoever your
We
superior
need to
offer is.
role play this deep dive into Victra's psyche.
Well, if Victra wants to talk to me about it, that's one thing. But like,
Victra literally gets off shift, dismisses Ensign Stern, and then goes to like flops on her bed like a frustrated teenager and just stares at the ceiling for a little bit.
Fair. I've been there. As a
Debates
full
over
adult
whether or
too.
not debates over whether or not she's going to wear something appropriate for the concert or if she's going to stay in her uniform so she can like pretend to have something more important to do.
Which ironically is still not inappropriate because you're literally on ship.
No, it's
So like, yeah,
absolutely correct. But like, she was debating over like casual wear
sure.
over the uniform. She doesn't want to think that she doesn't want her father to think that I'm like comfortable and enjoying myself.
So the next couple hours go by relatively easily. Keed, you get the antigen deployed. It shouldn't be a big deal. It's only the pheromones after your quick like read up. The pheromones only happen in a limited area around the individual, but this makes sure that no matter where Federo goes on the ship, it's not as intense. There still may be a bit here and there, especially for a species that might be a little more susceptible, like benzites, because of the way that their breathing apparatus sits. They will be a little more susceptible, but for most people, for most species, it won't be an issue.
So you're saying Ensign Minden down in transporter room has just been living a high for
Yeah.
like ever since he got off the
He was like,
transporter.
he was
He's
like,
down
this
there
is the
going-
greatest thing ever, and then you all just left.
And he was like, you know what? I still feel really good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I will transport him anywhere if he comes back.
Anywhere he wants to go, I'll send him.
Is it like a big crash after this, particular type of high, or is it just you
Nope, it
just coast
eases
back
you
to-
right back out of it. It doesn't. It does not cause a crash. At least not that I'm aware of. I don't think I read anything about Delton pheromones having a crash.
I don't think so. They just tend to make, and I don't even know if it's like, I think it's every race, or every species, but I know that it's particularly potent on humans too. But
Yep. Zeke, I would like you to roll another insight science with psychology as a focus. And actually, Halada, you can as well. If you have psychology, I don't think you do, but you still do insight science.
What's the target?
2. I like that number. 2 is really good.
We're at 4 momentum.
Can I use that reroll
Yeah.
from
You are
chat?
indeed. It was given to me specifically.
Okay,
but-
cool.
I will give it to you if you'd like it.
Well, we might be giving that a complication. If not,
Yes, a rock turns into a giant dragon.
There are no stupid Cardassians in this episode, so it's allowed as complication this time.
I buy
All
one.
right.
My science is not great.
Yeah, you guys
buying
have 4. Yeah, go for it.
So I got no successes of the complication, Matt. Have fun with
Fantastic. That sounds great.
I got 1 success, and what's the range on?
20. If you roll a 20, that's a complication.
Okay,
Yeah.
so no complications, but only 1
Fantastic.
success.
Yeah, so just thinking over the interaction, Doxy's good with everybody. But you've not seen him interact with someone quite like that. He's just a jovial guy, but this was a little bit more than what you've seen in the past. Nothing bad, just like clearly he has a friend there, not just an acquaintance he spends time with. So the evening passes. Victra, you show up. I'll say you're probably the last of the 4 of you to show up to the concert.
You're the last person ever to show up to the
As-
Are you just waiting outside for everyone else
Yeah.
to trickle in so you can go in last?
As you walk into the room, you see Ensign Stern. And sitting right next to her is your dad. And his hand is over top of hers. And they are laughing together.
Oh my god!
And then he
Well-
stands up and gives her a kiss on the cheek. And then walks up to the stage.
Oh, gross!
I thought you didn't. There's your complication. You like that?
Yeah. I
And then she turns
Stand
into a
up there.
dragon.
I bristle and I march over to where actually, you know what I do? I pat my comm badge and I go, Commander or Lieutenant Hoth to Lieutenant Stern.
I was gonna say we forgot a promotion again.
Yeah, she got promoted.
She
Lieutenant
she
Hoth
taps
and Lieutenant
her because she's in civies, so she taps her comm badge on her civils. What do you call those people that are not military? Civilian
Civilians?
clothes.
Civilians.
That's the word. Whew.
Or
I'm
casual.
doing great with words tonight, guys. I am on top of it.
When applied to closets, they're in their civvies.
Yeah.
And if they're in their underwears, they're in their skivvies.
Slightly different. Yeah. This is Lieutenant Stern.
Can you please come meet me at the bar? And I'm like staring her down and waiting for her to turn
She
around. and
like
look at
turns
me.
around and Victra probably has never driven on Earth, and almost hit a deer. But you know, you're familiar with the human phrase "deer in the headlights," and you've just seen one.
Yep. Targ in spotlights.
So she quickly like downs the rest of her drink, picks up her glass, and heads to the bar.
Lieutenant, I see you've become well acquainted with the entertainment for tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't, for your own sake, don't do that.
But he was
will use you up and leave you for no good reason. He doesn't care, I promise.
he said I reminded him of you, ma'am.
That's why I like you, because you remind me of me. He doesn't get to say that. He wouldn't know what I'm like for you
Yes, ma'am.
to remind him of myself. There's a lot of convoluted words here. Just know, for your own good, consider it an order. Do not fraternize with the band.
Yes, ma'am.
I got into the whole band, like not just.
Yeah, not just Federo, like all of them.
Well, I don't know what kind of people he travels with.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
I've heard stories on the VidNet.
He did have a lot of nice things to say about you, ma'am.
I'm not upset with you. I'm upset with him. Understand that, please. But I appreciate that he can be very kind, but he has a lot of stuff that he needs to deal with, and I just don't want you to get mixed up in it. Even if he's only here for 3 days.
Can I get you to give me insight command, we'll say?
Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I got an 18 and a 4, so I'm pretty sure the 4 makes it. So 1 success.
Oh yeah, it was one. It was one difficulty of 1. Sorry, I will get on top of that. She is clearly concerned that she has strained the relationship between the two of you.
If I pick up on that,
Yeah.
Liv, please know. He and I have not had a good relationship in a long time. It's never been good. The fact that he asked to come on the ship in the first place elevated my discomfort. So I will admit, seeing him sitting with you and there's a lot to unpack there. And I just want you to be careful. And I would rather be in these moments your friend instead of your commanding officer, but just be careful. And I would recommend a seat closer to the back.
I understand, Victra. I'm sorry.
It's perfectly all right.
She orders another Acamarian brandy. We're just gonna keep using that drink.
I'm going to believe that because that is what Federo likes, everybody seems to find an interest in Acamarian brandy.
Yeah, like,
and they don't realize it.
Doxy is like running out of Acamarian brandy. He didn't expect it to be this big of a hit. You guys are out in the middle of nowhere. He's a little concerned. She actually heads upstairs to the balcony. She does sit kind of towards the front of the balcony, so she has a good view. But like, she's not close like she was. She was right up on the stage.
Sure. Yeah. I ask instead for a blackberry spritzer.
Yep. The Doxy gets one for you, and he says, "Hey, Lieutenant."
Yes, Mr. Goff.
I didn't realize your dad was Federo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No,
I wish I could forget, but Delton memory and all.
Well, I mean, yeah. No, listen. I'm glad that you're on the ship. I feel a little bit safer knowing that his kid's just flying us around. Look, there's been some. I know I'm big and like kind of scary, but there's been some times your dad's been there for me and kept me safe.
I literally am blinking at him and holding back like seething rage.
Yeah, no, it's like I got a look like that from a guy one time, and I was just sure I was going to get knifed. Your dad talked him out of it, made sure nobody got hurt. It was great. Roxy, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm pushing the button. I am pushing the button, but here, I'll use this one. He will not be able to save you this time. And I take my drink and I leave.
Well, okay. You hear just kind of under his breath, just when you think you know a Hoth. Holy cow.
I look around and like if I see Tox, I roll my eyes, but that's who I head for.
Oh yeah, sure. No, Tox is just sitting there. He is not drinking an Akamarian brandy. He is drinking Andorian ale. And a lieutenant, you want to join me?
Absolutely. You're sitting as far back as you can, and you're not drinking his stupid drink.
Oh, listen. I'm only really here because the captain thought it was great for us to listen to music. I don't get this. I'm not. This is not what I'm used to. I don't get it.
Coffee and Woos is the worst.
I
have
I
not
wouldn't say the
liked it.
worst. Have you
It's pretty
heard?
close.
Have you heard Klingon? Uh, like the Klingon stuff. Like it's just screaming.
Well,
Like
if
who
you're
likes screaming?
with any luck, he's not going to bring out his cover of the famed Klingon opera,
Oh, no, that would
Sword
okay.
of Kahless at Dawn.
There it is. That's what's worth it. What you saw? Hothian Woos
Woos. It's
and Klingon opera together. That's got to be the worst.
it is. It's
Yeah.
literally the worst. And Klingon opera is terrible when sung by a Klingon. Can you imagine it sung by that guy?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Whew.
That time, Keed walks by, just kind of side eyes him on his way to the bar.
To answer your question, Phil, there is a sunrise. I don't remember what kind of sunrise it is. It's a Sumerian sunset.
Oh,
is what we're looking for.
well, you're just looking for drinks. I was just trying to throw.
Oh no! I have a whole list. I have. I don't know if I've ever touted the wonders of Memory Alpha to our stream audience, but Memory Alpha is great. I have a whole thing. I've got plenty of options. I don't even
that
know
one
what a
because
lot
like
of these
it changed colors or whatever. But sorry.
Yeah, that one's actually really cool, and I wish that real drinks did that.
Oh yeah, that's one that Data makes, and he flicks the glass.
Flicks it, and it's just all like it's like a sunset. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, Tox seems to be picking up on your hostility and just kind of chills a little bit. He still makes some jokes here and there, but like it's not what you have come to think of as greeting from him.
I'm actually watching the concert with some interest, but I'm masking it as well as I can.
The band plays well. Your dad's singing, whether or not you like Hothian Woos, it's spot on. He holds notes well, does a really good job. Everything flows well. Even the set list flows well. It's like the songs are not interconnected, but it's like there's a tapestry of story that he is telling here with how well it just smoothly goes along. The last song finishes. There's some clapping, polite clapping, because we don't get raucous here. You do notice that there are a couple of the bartenders that are a little more enthusiastic, and then a couple of crew members, not officers, but crew members that are a little more enthusiastic. That seem drawn a little bit more to the performance. So, other than that, it went pretty well.
Okay.
And he seems happy when he sees that you're in the crowd, because the lights kind of come up a little bit. He smiles at you. He greets some people and shakes hands, but he's clearly keeping an eye on you, Victra.
I note that.
What about the other three of you? What do you three, other than glaring at Tox, what are you doing, Keed?
When we went to the bar, not getting the spiced brandy, but would have gotten a. Well, it's a concert, so I got some blood wine.
Yeah, Doxy carries Doxy. That's right?
That's
Yeah,
correct.
Doxy keeps a hold of a couple of bottles of blood wine for you specifically. Doesn't have a lot of it, but he keeps some real stuff there. And then when he replicates stuff, he mixes it so it's not nearly as bad. Which you've come to like greatly appreciate because some of that replicated stuff is terrible.
The replicated stuff is horrible, but you
Yeah.
cut it with a fine vintage. It's palatable.
Yeah.
And that's like the only thing that really Keed likes from the Klingon heritage is the blood wine. Does not eat.
You're not into Ga?
No, not at all. That is not my favorite. So he would have probably stayed towards the back of the crowd just in case there was a medical emergency or something like that. I didn't have to jump up and dash out. I don't want to
In
be
case
in the
Zeke
way of
gets
anybody.
poisoned again.
Yeah, keep my eye on Zeke. Can't hold his liquor.
I'm probably having a really good time tonight, but
Yeah.
hopefully I'm not falling over.
I also think I'd be keeping an eye on the crowd a little bit because concern of people maybe being a little too enthusiastic, just keeping an eye on things.
Give me an insight medicine roll.
Let's see. How many? What am I looking at?
It's a difficulty 1.
One. Let's see. That is a 3, which is below my medicine.
That's if you have a focus. Do you have a focus that applies?
Biology, stress
Yeah,
disorders.
biology. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll generate a momentum.
Cool.
That'll put you guys back to 4. You can see the bubble of his pheromones. Like, it's not even bad. People aren't acting inappropriately. They're just smiling a little bit more, and you can see where it is exactly where he is affecting. It's and that's I would expect is pretty fascinating for you because you can like literally see it. You would guess that if the antigen wasn't in the air, it would be bigger, but you can definitely see like the first couple of tables right in front of him and maybe like parts of the tables next to them are being affected by this. But the whole crowd seems to enjoy it. This is we're talking maybe 75 people total in the dough on a ship of 800. Hardly anybody's here realistically. That's why there's a couple of concerts, but also like some people got to work, some people got to sleep. Like there's other stuff going on.
Some people don't like music.
Not everyone's a fan of wooze.
Some people don't have taste.
Coffee and wooze.
Coffee and wooze.
Is there a good beat? If there's not a good beat, Halada's just kind of.
Oh no, it's a really good beat. It's solid music if you don't hate your dad.
It's like I said in chat, he's a bit of a genre hopper. It's not necessarily that you can categorize him as anything, and across 3 quadrants he has just been categorized in his own right, and that is why it's called Hothian Woos. And some songs are very, very kind of jazzy, bluesy, croony kind of stuff, lots of love songs. But then there are, like, he does acid blues a lot, and that is not anything that anyone should take part in.
And then he does play a couple of covers, but in his own style, and brings them in very well. It's clear that he's a very accomplished musician. It's not like his fame is unearned. He's good at what he does.
Absolutely. The pheromones do not make people like his music. They just make people like him.
Yeah.
Fair.
So
yeah, other than just keeping an eye on the crowd, enjoying the music, but I'm not, like I said before, I'm not his biggest fan.
Yeah.
Different taste of music.
So the crowd starts to disperse. It gets a little bit lighter. Ensign Stern has left. She didn't stick around, and
Lieutenant, we keep forgetting the promotion.
Oh yeah. How do we promote somebody and I forget? How did I promote someone and I forgot? Like, whew. So you see, like everybody's kind of leaving. Victor, do you stick around?
I do. I wait until most of other people have left and the band is starting to pack up their instruments.
Tox hangs out with you while you're doing that. Like while you're waiting, he's waiting. He makes pleasant small talk. Talks about maybe talks about holodeck programming a little bit too much, but like in that, hey, did you check out this new one? Like I'm really excited about this thing about it. Kind of holodeck nerdery, but it's not
Sure.
too over the top.
Sure.
Do I
There's no
overhear that?
mention of a confinement beam, so she
Yeah,
understands.
by the time that the band starts to pack up, there's few enough people in there. It's not packed anymore, and you probably gravitate towards the other senior staff anyway.
Sure.
So I would engage talks about the best hiking programs that he's.
Oh yeah. So I really like. There's this Vulcan one called the Path of the Burning Desert. I would suggest a lot of water because it's not cold. Cardassians would like it. Let me put it to you that way.
Maybe not, but thanks for the advice.
But was there a specific place you were looking to hike? Because there's a lot of planets.
Anything unique?
I suggest an earth hiking program that I programmed some time ago of a particular mountain in like Southern California or Northern California.
So like up by the redwoods.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Redwood National Forest. Yeah, somewhere
Is it-
near because that's relatively near Starfleet Academy too. So something you would have seen it while you were at the academy.
Yeah.
Is that sincere? Can I tell if that's sincere?
It is sincere. She has no idea that her father asked to hike on Earth.
Yeah, if she knew, then she would have programmed a
I would
dragon
not have
in.
suggested it.
So I would. So Zeke would say, full disclosure, we're off duty, so I guess I'd probably call you Victra.
You outrank me, so whatever you call me, I say yes, sir. So-
Victra, full disclosure, it would be potentially to go hiking with your father, and given your relationship, I wouldn't want to use that program without you being fully aware of that.
He wants to go hiking?
He specifically mentioned that activity, yes.
Well, you still have freedom to use it if it sounds like something that he would enjoy. I'm not familiar with him being much of an outdoor person.
I won't disclose that it's yours unless you'd like me to.
Nah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. If it comes
Computer
up, it
start
comes up.
Victra hiking program 1.
Yeah. Victor does San Francisco program Alpha 2.
Yeah.
I'd like to come over and just kind of. I apologize. I didn't realize that it was going to cause you stress to have him intrude on the bridge, or I would have tried to delay that.
It's all right. I don't speak about our relationship very often because there really isn't one. I'm not surprised that he showed up on the bridge, but it definitely was. How can something be unsurprising and yet unexpected all at the same time? He has his ways.
Absolutely.
But I will manage to comport myself more properly should he visit me while I'm on duty in the next couple days.
Ideally, we'll be able to avoid that situation. May I offer you a tiny bit of advice?
Please.
Both of my parents died in the war. If he's trying to reconnect or even connect with you, it may be worth considering. You don't really realize how much you're going to miss them until they're gone.
I appreciate your advice, Commander. I will think on it.
That's all I ask. I hope you have a good night.
You as well, Commander.
About that time, Haskins gonna come across, see a loose chair, plunk his tankard of blood wine down, sit down in the chair Riker style. Look at Toxin and be like, don't you have a physical coming up next month?
You would know better than I would, Doctor, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so why don't you tell me more about your love of Klingon opera?
Well, here's the thing, Doctor. I'm pretty sure I'm needed on the bridge. And he stands up and walks out.
Yeah, Victra heard him say Klingon opera, and she took.
Oh, we lost you again, Rox.
Oh,
We heard
I don't know.
Victor
My button
Klingon
must not be
opera,
working.
and then yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I take my spritzer and walk off as soon as I hear mention of Klingon opera.
I'll reverse
Kinda-
and stay.
I just chuckle and just start downing the rest of the drink.
What did you think of the performance, Keed?
It's good. It's not my style of music. I prefer something a little more aggressive.
Fair.
Can
But
I get
the end was good.
the three of you that are still in the Dapple Dough to give me a insight security check? Difficulty is 1.
Oh shoot! Oh, you know what? I'm going to use that reroll.
Well, you're not the one. You're not actually, Roxy. You're not the one in there.
You're
It
not.
would be the other 3 because you noped out of the conversation. So I assumed you headed towards the door.
Oh, I headed towards my dad.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even
Oh.
better.
So yeah, so I'm still in the dough. I'm just not. I was like, "Ooh, this conversation," and I walked off.
That's fair. So it's
But,
actually the
if
other
I don't
3.
need to roll, I will take those 2 20s I rolled and just tuck them away.
Boo!
Probably too much
one.
blood wine. I got big fat no.
You got
success.
one. Did you get one, Amber?
Yeah, I did.
Fantastic. So that'll generate 1 momentum, which is good. Yep. So Halada and Zeke, you note that Federo it wants to approach the table, but is waiting to the right moment. And then as Victor stands up and walks towards him, a deep look of like a loss of anxiety flows out of him.
Oh, I noticed. Do I notice that?
You don't. You are skipping out on the blood wine conversation and just
Oh,
heading
okay,
to your
okay.
dad to deal with him. Like that
No
is
worries.
you're beelining that way and don't necessarily notice the drop.
Okay, cool.
So, just so that I can understand better, is he still his anxiety dropped because he wants to still approach the table and Victra is not going to be there, or because Victra is heading his way?
He is. I want to say the word. He's relaxing because he wanted to talk to Victor, but did not want to interrupt the conversation.
Okay.
So Victor, as you approach, he smiles, and you notice that it's not the smile he's been putting on all day. It's not sad necessarily, but it seems kind of a little more low key.
I see that we're starting to drop our airs, as it were.
If you have time for that, yeah, I would be happy to sit down and just have a chat.
I suppose I can't hide from you the entire time. So yeah, let's talk.
He goes and he motions over to one of the tables kind of tucked back away from everybody. And he heads back there and Doxy, there he is. Whew. Doxy brings back a drink for him. And you notice that it is a earth drink called Sprite. It's an old earth drink that you've had before. It's bubbly and kind of cloying and sweet. And Doxy says, what can I get for you, Victra?
Water is fine.
Sure. I'll bring that right over. And Federo says, so how do you like it out here?
I like it quite a bit. no shortage of excitement, even when it's not supposed to be exciting. Um, and I enjoy my job.
I mean, the excitement's kind of what you signed up for, right? Though.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, that's what the exploration's about, isn't it?
For some, uh, I don't begrudge the excitement, but I don't believe it was necessarily the driving force behind why I joined Starfleet. Um, but that's neither here nor there. Um, how has your tour been going?
Oh, I mean, it's going as well as most tours are going. It's not, you know, it's the way it always is. Good fans, good venues, enjoyable. Got the bands; they're great. When we've been together long enough, we feel real comfortable together, so that's always nice. But it's we don't have these fancy ships like you guys have, so we don't go as fast. So it's long, kind of lonely trips between places sometimes.
For sure, yeah, I can believe it. But that is what I assume. I think you'd get used to it after traveling across all the quadrants uh, for so long.
Oh,
Um,
I mean, I'm not as young as I used to be,
mhm.
and you know, priorities change sometimes, or they want to change, maybe.
I will say slow ships is the first time I've heard that excuse.
Sure, sure. I met your protege. I think she's your protege. I'm guessing. Uh, Lieutenant Stern.
Lieutenant Stern is a fantastic pilot. She will be outflying me before she makes commander.
I don't doubt it. She reminds me of how your mom used to describe you.
Now see that I can believe. She said that you had very nice things to say about me, and I was quite surprised as I didn't think you knew me well enough to have anything good to say about me.
It's pretty
But
easy to parrot your mom.
um yeah, not that she really ever had anything good to say about me either.
She had her moments, here and there.
Yeah, mostly there now, which is why I'm here.
Yeah. This assignment's pretty. It's a pretty big deal. I'm sure you know that. I'm sorry. That's a stupid comment.
It's all right. It's all right. I was invited here by another pilot who, uh, and I mean, I had a good commission before this. This kind of came as a surprise after the war, but it's fun. We've experienced a lot of strange things,
I
but
talked to your captain before I ever booked this.
I
Uh,
assumed. I didn't think that you just. I mean, you are a fast talker, sir, but I have never known you to go somewhere completely uninvited, except for the bridge, of course.
uh, he everything he said about you was nothing but positive, and it only kind of drove home that the uh, the change in priorities.
Whose? Because my priorities have stayed
Oh no, no,
pretty.
no, no, absolutely. Your career, like you're a lieutenant already. You're gonna end up being a commander. You might have your own ship one day. I hope you do. I think that would be fantastic.
Are you going to hang it on the refrigerator?
I'd have to get a refrigerator first, but I would definitely put it on the replicator of any ship I'm on.
There you go. I'll be sure to send a copy of the plaque. All that to say, I you've not shown this much interest in my career ever. I just am I'm confused as to why you're making such an effort now.
Yeah. I am too sometimes. I just, like I said, priorities have changed. Things are different.
Like, this isn't some sort of like let's reconnect before I die conversation, is it?
Oh,
'Cause
I
I don't
I
know if
hope
I
not.
drink enough for that.
Like we can have the doctor look me over, but pretty sure, other than I've got a bad hip from from a tussle, but like other than the bad hip, like I feel like I'm in good shape.
Okay, well, that's better because, you know, my abandonment issues would not be able to deal with you dying quite suddenly. So try not
I'm
to do that.
I'm doing my best.
I have to
I
hate you for a few more years.
sure. Got to keep those. Got to stick around so you can hate me. Actually, this is probably the most dangerous place I've been in a very long time. You know,
The
in Gamma
ship?
Quadrant on a
Oh,
military ship, like there's some inherent danger here. It gets interesting.
you know, we've had a few big missions recently where the danger was quite high. I am going to hope that maybe we've had our fair share for at least this month.
Well, the other thing that comes with age is I do get tired a little earlier, but I got a couple of sets tomorrow and I need to rest. I just wanted to make sure you understood that while I don't think it means much to you, I'm really proud of you.
I'm proud of me too. Um, I suppose that's good night then.
I think so. Good night,
All
Victra.
right, good night. And I stand and turn very stiffly and go towards the door.
So Doxy is kind of standing, not leering, but like he has the water on his tray and read the situation and just kind of stood there and didn't want to bring it over. And as you're like walking out, he's just, good night, Victra.
Good night, Mr. Goff.
I think that's going to be a good place for us to take a break. We are going to walk away for 10 minutes and stretch our legs and go build this dragon that's going to murder everyone.
That's right.
You guys should drink water because Cthulhu demands it. But we will be back in about 10 minutes. Before we go, that's what I wanted to do. I couldn't figure out what it
That's
was.
the one. That's the one.
My brain is scattered tonight. It's
We
real
should
bad.
do you know, as I like to say around here, do a fill up and drop off. So fill your drinks, go to the bathroom, and then we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Yeah. So real quick though, don't forget you can follow us right below where we're at. There's a little button. Just click the follow. Once you do that though, you can then subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free and steal a little money from Jeff Bezos at the same time. So it's kind of like being Robin Hood. And don't forget you can still tip to create NPCs. That'd be fantastic. Doxy Golf is going to get a lot of action. I can tell you, he's going to be in these shows for a long time. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. We'll see you. We'll see you then.
See you in a few.
Bye. We are going to get back into the story in just a second. But first, let's talk about what's coming up. This week, we've got Illuminated Page on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That is a Call of Cthulhu 7th edition game run by me. If you are behind on what's going on that show, just go check out the YouTube, which I'm
You
sure is
mean
in
you're
chat.
only 2 years behind. So
Only 2 years behind, but
Plenty of content to catch up on.
yeah, you got a couple of things. You don't got a lot going on. Nobody does, right? Nobody's got any busy stuff going on. But we will be back for that on Thursday. I'll be running. Roxy will be there. Shawn will be there, and then we'll have John and David, who are hiding in the background watching for monsters. I guess I don't know. I don't know what they're doing back there. On Friday, though, Roxy and I will also be on the Rod of the Seven Realms on Lore Explorers, which I'm sure that Roxy is throwing into the chat right now so that we can.
I can.
Thank you.
That poor goblin.
That is a 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons game, and when I say that it's Minds of Felindar, I
Mine's
don't
a
know.
Fandelver.
There we go. It's not. It is. That's the basics of it. But last week we met Guy Fieri, who's definitely not a ripoff of Guy Fieri. And we definitely didn't watch a little bit of Goat's Ball on the big screen
It was a
Magic
scrying. It
TV.
was a scrying
Oh yeah,
tool.
yeah, yeah.
Does that mean you didn't go to Flavortown? I'm
Yeah.
sad.
Oh, we went to Flavortown. There was a
It was called
list.
the Kickin' Donkey.
Yeah, there was a
Wonderful.
whole list of dishes we could have had, and boy, was that list long.
I think the best thing
Pork
out of that was
nuggets that make their own gravy, and
don't forget the
Lobsters.
gelatinous cube shooters.
Oh yeah, the gelatinous
Oh,
cube
excellent.
shooters.
Jigglers.
Jigglers.
Gelatinous cube Jigglers was their drink special of the night, as well as Power Word Drunk. And yeah, there was a whole. I can't list them all, but there was like Mordenkainen's muttons of some madness or some shit like
Yeah.
that. I don't remember.
It is.
Was the TGIF menu gone mad?
That's fair. It definitely is not your standard run of this module, and I will never be. Will doesn't do standard. I don't, and that's a praise because he does
It is, yeah, he just-
non-standard
yeah.
very well. So you should come out for that, even if it's just to check out what kind of shenanigans we're going to get into. I didn't do it this past week, but the week before I got to vomit bees on people. That was fun. So yeah, come out for that on Friday.
Yeah, there's a wild magic chat command that y'all can drop on us at any time during the broadcast, and that makes some crazy stuff happen.
Yeah. And then next Monday, we'll be back. Roxy will be running Broken Shells and Ancient Bones. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern. That is not ominous at all, and I'm sure that Roxy's not going to murder all of the party.
We'll be fine. Everything's going to be fine.
I'm
actually going to be most of the people here. 3 of 5 of the people here.
Oh no, 3 of 5. That's like Borg talk. There's Borg in this one? No, this episode is to lull everybody into a false sense of security for Roxy to then destroy everyone.
No, we're all waiting for this dead rock we're orbiting around to explode and create some weird gravity well anomaly that's gonna give birth to a dragon, apparently.
I'm waiting for it to secretly be an egg, yeah.
Sure. I mean, listen, you guys are paranoid.
Yes.
So yeah, come check those out. That's every Friday we're on that show, and we're obviously here every Monday. We've got a break coming up, not after next week, but starting on the 13th, we will be off for a few weeks. And then we'll be coming back officially with X-Crawl, which that campaign is as of yet not being announced the name of, but it is a D&D setting called X-Crawl. I've got 4 great players in that. We're very excited. I've got some fun, interesting stuff going on there. It's going to be a little bit of Running Man, the movie, mixed with like Gladiator and I don't know, other things with bright neon lights, because that's nice. There's a lot of 80s in this in the feel of this the feel of this world. But that'll be starting up October 4th. That sounds right. No, 10th. I don't know. It'll be starting up in October. That'll run through the end of the year, and then we will be back in January with the Voyages of. So that we're just going to go on we're going to flip these, and this is going to be our standard thing where we do Voyages of and another show, and then come back to Voyages of and do another show. So keep an eye out for that, and come join us for the Dungeons and Dragons game. So next day, unless somebody wants to do something before they go to bed.
No.
No, I'm good.
Like, wait a second. Let me do something.
If vlogs were still a thing in the future.
Yeah. I write in my live journal. And so I'm going to do a thing. I'm going to roll control and presence. For myself with presence at a half. So it's a half rounded up. So we're gonna say 14 on that. And I got 2 successes. I do not cry myself to sleep.
Yay!
Progress.
Now that poor ensign she found out of uniform. I mean, he wishes his life was over at this point.
So the next day, we find ourselves at the on the holodeck. Zeke has just started up something that was quickly last night renamed to Nature Program 1. Oh, I'm sorry. I did forget about Fragged Empire. I didn't have a date on that though, so I wasn't sure. But the Fragged Empire is coming, um, and John is going to drop the date for that in chat. I will announce it so that later, when you're watching this in the future, hello future people on YouTube, you'll know that date as well. Um, but
It's gonna be fun.
yeah, you start up Nature Program 1. And find yourselves in the Redwood National Forest. What was the Redwood National Forest? Now I guess it's the Redwood Federation Forest. I don't know. It's not a national forest anymore. Um, so giant trees, lots of undergrowth, um, quiet except for animal sounds off in the distance. Even like the hum of power and stuff that you would expect in on most of Earth is kind of gone away and not even there in the background. And Federo walks kind of out of the arch and looks around. Yep, I've been in a few holodecks or holo suites. I stopped at the one on DS9 on the way out here. They are they are something else. Like I can smell these trees. How do you guys do this?
Um, well, there's certainly a lot to keep us busy, but being on these long extended missions, it helps keep a lot of folks sane.
Sure, I can bet. I mean, that's part of why I came out, right? We are going to lose a momentum, by the way, Roxy, just to for switching scenes. Um, yeah, it's it's beautiful out here. This isn't one of my favorite places on Earth, but it might be now. I haven't been to this particular forest.
Is there another part of Earth that you'd like to
No,
visit?
no, this is fantastic. I love this. Where this is? You said this was near San Francisco.
Yeah, in the
Oh,
what was the state of California?
excellent. Yeah, no, he just starts walking. Um, you guys walk for maybe 15 or 20 minutes, kind of crest a hill. The trees part just right so that the sun can be seen as it rises all the rest of the way. Um, and he's not been untalkative, but he is not. There is a difference between the demeanor of when he came on the ship and while he was shortly after he was performing, and now there's a big demeanor shift in how he's handling himself. And when the sun kind of finally just the last bit of it peaks above the horizon, he takes kind of a deep breath and he says, "You know, I don't know. I spend a lot of time on ships, but not quite like this. I could not imagine not being on a planet as much as you guys are."
It's it's a challenge, and certainly exploring out here, there are opportunities to visit civilizations and to get down to planets, but it's usually a lot of work. There's not a lot of shore leave planets necessarily as we're out here exploring.
Yeah, you're kind of deep space without being deep space. I mean, being you're still relatively close to Deep Space Nine, but not that wormhole. Plus, you've got like weird attack animals out here, like cats that just rub their tails on your face.
Yeah, humans of the past, really love them for reasons that elude me.
Elude modern civilian.
They're,
But they're
Um,
not totally unheard of in Starfleet, I think.
they're
yeah.
cute little murder machines.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself, Zeke. How did you? What drove you into Starfleet?
Um, so I grew up on a rural planet. We did. My parents were um, out on the frontier. They did a lot of the trading um, with for the colony and stuff. So they would help gather what we were able to produce and go and trade that. So just kind of hopping around, between these frontier colonies, kind of made me want to see more of um, what the world was, and just watching my parents interact with others kind of gave me a little bit of study in people and how they act and behave, and eventually led me to want to join Starfleet, and it's the easiest way to see a lot more of the universe.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I took a different route on seeing the universe. A very different route, I think.
I don't have skills anywhere near yours, at least in the world of arts.
Oh, he laughs, and it's clear that he's not laughing at your mention of his skill at arts. Yeah, being a Deltan gives me a certain set of abilities that sometimes I take for granted and forget about. Um, but yeah, it's led to an interesting life, I guess. One that I can definitely see highlights from, and the other parts I can see, regrets, things that I wish I'd done differently.
Well, if you wanted to talk to someone about that, given my appreciation for your music, I don't know that I would be the best person, but I certainly know a lot of people in my field that would probably be able to remotely use you someone to
Yeah,
talk to.
I maybe that's a thing I will do eventually. Deep Space Nine has a psychologist that I might stop and talk to. She's a she's one of the join trill. Very interesting lives that they lead too. But really, it's just about you know making sure that the experiences I have left make sense. I don't know, Zeke. You seem still pretty young, but eventually, you don't seem young anymore.
Um, Conceptually, I understand that, but I think you're right that I just don't have the life experience to be able to really empathize and say that I feel what you're describing.
Yeah. So you what kind of adventures have you gotten into with Starfleet? Anything exciting?
Um, well, so these holodecks, are all fun and games until they don't work right. So there's a little of that. Um, and then um, I was certainly engaged in the end of the war um, as a ambassador and diplomat. Um, there was a Zinkethi raid that I was able to do a little bit of um, work to save some people that I'm glad that I was able to support my fellow crewmates in. Um, so things here and there, I think it's all in service of a greater good and all those types of things. But there are certainly moments that stand out for me more in my memory.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Flagships are pretty important. Um, do you how well do you know the captain?
Um, we work together quite a bit. We're doing first contacts. We have to negotiate with a lot of people. So I have his ear quite a bit. But not someone that I've really made, more than a professional bond to a large degree.
Is he known to toot other people's horns?
I
Sorry,
couldn't quite under that.
no, that's fine. Sorry, it's
I think I understand what you're saying, but I don't know how to
does
properly
does
respond
he
to it.
blow smoke? I think is the human expression.
Um, Not in my experience. Um, but again, we're um officers in Starfleet, so we rely quite a bit, in terms of honesty and accuracy and those types of things because lives are on the line.
When I found out Victra had been assigned to a ship like this, I started looking into a little more of her career, what I could find, because some of it, like especially the war, there's a lot of intentional blanks. I'm pretty sure, but I contacted the captain after she was assigned here to see what he thought about me coming out, and I've never heard someone sing praises like that about an officer. Is that just like I assume what he told me wasn't embellished? Does that sound right? Is Victra just that good?
All of my experiences with Victra have been overwhelmingly positive. She is a bit human, as I certainly believe that to use that phrase, most beings in this universe are, particularly in that aspect of being capable of erring. Um, by no means do I put her on a pedestal as being perfect in any regard. But I wouldn't hesitate to trust her with my trust my life with her.
Well, I mean, if that's what being human is, I'm a hell of a lot of human then.
Well, it's it's beyond the species, but I don't have a better word for it.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get what you're saying. Yeah. I'm glad that she's out here. I'm glad that she cares about the ship. It's pretty clear, and she's happy with her career.
I'm honored to serve with her.
So, would you say, just with your experience, would you say that she would end up with her own ship if that's what she wanted?
Um, from what I've seen, from whatever she chooses to put her mind to, she will accomplish in due time.
Good. I think she'd be great. I'd love to call once in the future and ask for the captain, and then talk to my daughter. That would be prove that I didn't screw it up too bad.
Well, I mean, I think that her accomplishments are her own. I can understand taking pride in someone that you have a relationship with, if that is what you do. But provided that she's happy in doing what she does, I don't know that it matters if she's a lieutenant or a captain.
I guess that's true. I guess that is true. Well, you guys have been walking for a little while. You've come to kind of the trail has come out on the other side of the forest and kind of opened up onto a field. There's civilization in the distance that you can kind of see. That hum of electricity and technology is kind of slowly seeping back in. Says, we just call for the arch and we can hop out of here.
Yes, computer, Arch.
And it appears, and yeah, he walks over and he says, "This is a great program. I don't know whoever programmed this is really good. They obviously have a great love of the area. Um, almost makes me want to go to Earth and just to see it. Maybe I'll have to set up a tour that'll put me on Earth for a little while.
You can get some of that planet time you were talking about.
Yeah, that'd be good. Uh,
I
so
really appreciate the time. I know that you have a lot of things, and obviously I'm a fan, but I appreciate you taking
yeah.
some time to.
Yeah, well, thank you for letting me pick your mind. I know that I think professionally there's not a lot you can do, but doesn't mean that you don't at least understand some of what I'm saying.
Well, it's kind of my business.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you, doctor. You're not a doctor. You might be a doctor. I don't
Technically,
know.
I am. I went to medical school to
I
get
didn't
my.
go to medical school for 3 years, not be called a doctor, Matt. Crap. Uh, well, Zeke, thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to your performances later today.
Yeah, I think that walk got the hip loosened up just enough that I'll be able to move around quite well tonight.
Yeah, you can always stop by sick bay. Commander Haskins might have something to help you out as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Klingons still give me a little bit of just they're pretty aggressive, aren't they?
As a species, yes. As
Yeah,
individuals, they are unique and diverse as any other species I've come across.
I guess that's true. Maybe I will stop by, see if he can look at this hip and give me any ideas of what the heck's going on with it.
Yeah.
And he heads off. He heads down the hall just a little bit, stops and looks at the panel, and he like taps on it because all the black panels in the hallways turn into screens. He says, how the crap do I get to the sick bay from here?" And it's just like this arrow lights up. Like, okay, okay, I got it now. And he heads off that direction. Yeah, Keed, you are in sick bay, kind of filling out reports, doing paperwork because you're in the military, and that means paperwork,
It is
and then
my favorite thing
filing
to do.
paperwork for that paperwork that you have to file paperwork for.
There's just like mounds of data pads just scattered all across
Yeah.
my desk.
Yeah, and a lot of it's like stuff where you're getting reports about diseases here and there that are popping up, or things that are a new virulent version of a disease has popped up. That's the right word. I don't know. It doesn't matter. There you go.
Virulent.
There, that was close. It's like 82% of the way there.
No,
We knew what
just
words you meant.
the way you said it is a way that people do say it. Virulent.
Indeed.
Well, I mean, even more than that. Great. You're going through a lot of that stuff. You're going through like 8 ensigns like came in with minor injuries after playing some Peercy squares, which
Familiar
I mean,
with.
yeah. Some engineering guy, like some human engineer, has been doing kayaking programs because he heard that one of the best engineers in the fleet used to do kayaking programs, and he came in with a torn rotator cuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna note stop turning off safety protocols in the holodeck.
And you
definitely also spending time to plan a very special physical for Tox.
Just nothing but Klingon opera playing in the background. You seem stressed, Tox. Why is that?
It's a stress test physical.
You seem to be sweating a lot. Why is that?
Top speed on a treadmill while listening to Klingon opera at 67 decibels.
We need to see how well your body responds to your blood pressure skyrocketing.
So he comes in. Federo comes in. He looks around. He talks to one of the nurses who kind of like tries to do like quick triage just to see what he needs.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of sees you in your office, and he just smiles at her, says something, and she shrugs her shoulders and just motions at you. And so he heads that way.
Nurse Temple. You're supposed to block things.
He is quite. It's the same nurse that we called incompetent in the Bacchus episode.
She's still a little salty.
That's Rixla.
Yeah.
Rixla, the Afrosian.
Nice. So he kind of puts his hands on either side of the door frame and leans himself in, that way that people do.
Yep.
Hey, Doc, can I bug you for a few?
Oh, Mr. Hoth, did we have an appointment?
No, but Victra and I had a conversation last night, and I don't know. She's got me worried about some stuff. Would you mind like giving me a once over?
Yeah, sure. Have a seat.
On top of that, just like my hip has been a little weird for a while.
Okay. I
absolutely sent the doctor a message first thing in the morning after thinking about it, and was like, make sure my old man is not dying. Just
I thought she was kidding about this. Okay.
People will mourn, and it'll be gross. It'll never go off the Newsnet.
I like that. That's your reason. I don't want to deal with other people mourning over my dad.
All these people are gonna cry and obviously tribute.
Can you imagine how much of his music will play after he dies?
Yeah,
I'll never
unless
not
I'm gonna
hear
get an
about
inheritance, that bastard stay breathing.
I'm gonna be thinking to myself. I got the message going. Wow, I thought she was joking about this. All right. Have a seat. Is there, besides your hip? I mean, how are you feeling? Are you?
I'm feeling pretty good. Just getting up there in age. Probably ought to see a doctor more often, but I figured have the best doctors. They're top of the line. If you're not going to be the best, you're pretty far up there.
Hard for me to argue with that.
might as well get the once over from you guys.
I mean, it's not like you're on a Klingon ship. I mean, you would not want them to deal with your hip on a Klingon
Oh, I
ship.
have done. Oh no. Listen, I got in a little bit of a scuffle on a Klingon station, and the Klingon told me that my bruises and what I thought was a broken rib didn't matter, and to tough up, and then kind of jabbed me in my rib. Like that's
Unless you're bleeding out on the command console, they really just walk it off.
Yeah, I didn't get stabbed. He didn't care. So,
well, come with me. We'll get you on a biobed. We'll do some scans and see if there's anything that we need to worry about. So you just want overall health, and you want to talk about your hip?
Yeah. So you're going to be rolling insight and medicine.
Yep.
And the ship is going to assist on that with sensors and medicine. So, Victor, do you want to scan your dad? Insight and medicine is 13 if you want to roll one dice run one dice for that.
Oh yeah, for the ship, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
What now?
That was a 19, so no, I did not.
It's okay.
I should have used my operations die. Nope, that's a 19 too. Never mind.
That's okay. I rolled a 12 and a 1.
Nice.
That is 3 successes.
Sweet.
So that's going to get you capped on momentum. You give him a once over. You do see some damage around the hip. It looks like some of the cartilage has been like scraped away over years of just probably a poor gait.
Night spent dancing, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the way he walks probably isn't great. And then hip thrusting during his Ponfar solos.
Ooh.
Never too far for Ponfar was
there you go.
On Vulcan for a decade.
So he there's definitely there's some regeneration that can be done there. It wouldn't take too long, maybe half hour, 45 minutes for you to work on that. The rest of him, his liver, what works as a liver for a Deltan, is a little inflamed, but you're gonna guess that he drinks a lot, so that's not out of the question. And he probably doesn't drink synthahol very often. He probably drinks actual alcohol.
Right, and I of course can take care of that and take that inflammation away. But I'll warn him. I'm like, overall you're healthy. The hip, for, if you excuse the expression, a man your age, for what you do, being on stage all the time, probably quite active.
Yeah.
Just a little cartilage damage. We can repair that in about 30 minutes. You feel like a brand new hip. You don't have to worry about a replacement or anything like that. Your liver, you might, trust me, as a Klingon, it's not the best thing anybody wants to hear. You might want to start indulging in synthahol a little bit. Your liver's a little inflamed.
Okay.
If you keep drinking hard, I mean, it's not hard to replace it, but do we really want to do that?
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I'm not seeing anything. It's you're hale and hearty, and you're not going to drop off anytime soon at all.
Good. Victor and I are just talking, and I don't know. We were talking about changing priorities, and she asked me if I was dying. And then I got to thinking while I was laying there last night, what if I am dying?
Well, honestly, we're all dying. Except for the Q.
What are the Q?
Oh, look it up on the Federation. They're an immortal species. They just...
Oh. All right, okay. Well,
just look it up. It's an interesting read. But no, you're not dying at an accelerated rate. You'll be around making music for many years to come.
Okay, good. Okay, well, good. We'll go ahead and get that hip worked out, and you call over a nurse and
you give it the specifications, the right settings for the cartilage regrowth frequencies.
Yeah. You what does he do, Roxy?
Uh-huh.
What's the technical term for what he's doing?
To narrow the broad spectrum.
Yeah, you're narrowing some type of confinement beam, but this can't be the annular confinement.
It's got to be the medical confinement beam.
Yeah, it has to be something.
It is the accelerated regenerative beta waves.
There you go.
Nice. It's a biotemporal something or other.
Temporal, that's time.
It's gonna
Well, it's
de-age
taking
the
back time,
cartilage
yeah.
in his hip.
Ooh, there we go.
Just his hip. So you're just injecting chronoton radiation into that hip so that hip can like age down until it probably shrinks to the size of an infant Delton's hip, and then it's really confusing.
He's got a really weird limp.
And that's why it's important you calibrate it right.
Right.
That's right. You have to be able to, it's just a brief exposure to chronoton particles, not,
Right. Now I'm thinking of that
permanent.
scene in the last Deadpool movie where he hops down, he's like on little 2-year-old legs.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's there for half an hour. You let the nurse kind of handle it because this is kind of routine, this kind of regeneration.
I supervise it because I do not want to explain
He's
to the
better
lieutenant.
than that.
Yeah,
Dr. Haskins has more important things to do.
His nurse accidentally cuts the leg off because, good old nurse...
Nurse Rixla.
Rixla.
Like, oh, this is your fault, doctor.
You have to explain that to Victra.
This is
the
going on
one
your
person
report.
that will straight fight you. Yeah, but he's all right after about half an hour, and then he gets up and he says, "All right, doc. Hey, I know you can't discuss patients, but
I like how he's going around to everyone on the ship and being like, "Hey,
that's my daughter."
But she's not been in any like death's door kind of things, has she?
Without breaching my oaths, I can tell you for a fact that I have seen her less in the sickbay than most of the other people on the ship.
Good. Well, good. Let's keep her that way. All right.
Oh, of course.
Can't get anywhere without your pilot, right?
No, it's kind of an essential role that we need on the ship, and she is one of our best.
Well, good. I'll see you at the performance later.
If I can get away, I think I have a surgery scheduled in the next hour. Hopefully, I can get away in time to see it.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you, doctor. And he gives you that like pat on the arm kind of deal, and then like turns and walks out.
Remember, synthahol.
Yeah, no, synthahol. Don't worry. Says
the person that has no intention to ever drink synthahol.
The rest of like the morning and early afternoon pass. Are any of the four of you going to his like early afternoon performance?
I got the surgery. I'll be there in the evening if there's one.
Zeke will be there.
Zeke is waiting outside with his ticket, like.
Yeah, no, I gotta get front row seat because he's got a big catalog, so
and he's got
probably
like
not gonna do repeats.
His foam finger and like.
No, I got little signs. It says like
What is the equivalent to a lighter in Star Trek universe? He's got
firing
like 3
phasers.
of those.
really low setting phasers.
Just a little phaser spark.
No, you got the tricorder like they do the cell phones now.
Oh yeah.
There's a light on the tricorder.
Right. Yeah.
So just Zeke's going to the afternoon.
I'm going to find rounds to do.
Fair.
I
can give you another report if you need the excuse.
Absolutely not. I don't even know what report you're talking about. And she's like, I do not have that report for you because I have no idea what you're talking about. I appreciate the assist, but you can't just give me fake work and expect me to turn it in.
Starfleet, you're not used to fake work yet?
By the way, is my dad dying?
I can't. He didn't give me the permission to tell you that. I can tell you that he's not dying. No. I simply told him, out of everybody on the ship, I see you the least amount in sickbay. And I also will tell you that he is in no jeopardy of dying anytime soon.
Except for when the planet turns into a dragon.
Yeah, that one. But that one you can't pick up in that scan. That's a really tough one.
That's a hard scan, yeah.
Yeah, that's like an 18 success kind of scam.
Yes.
I really don't expect the afternoon concert to get raucous.
You're
No.
right.
So I am probably also doing paperwork.
Yeah, this is probably the real Hothian woos. It's like it's mellow. It's
Yeah.
Hothian waz.
Yeah, it's
I'm
so
there in the shirt that I bought from the merch tent last night.
Yeah, you.
Oh, so like the crowd is mostly people that were on duty during the concert last night. Doxy is there, still doing his thing. Um, the concert itself goes pretty well. People seem to be enjoying themselves, but it is a much more laid back kind of event than it was last night. Last night wasn't like raucous or anything, but it definitely had some like higher energy to it than this. This is kind of almost like a jazz in the park kind of feel. Um,
He plays that instrument that's just like a dome, and that they just run their hands over the top, and it makes sounds, and it has
I,
no idea how that works.
I assume he plays the theremin. Let's
Oh,
be
yeah.
honest.
Yep. Yep.
Or a hurdy gurdy.
Yeah,
Oh, come on.
he's a regular Barbara Mandrell. He can just play whatever he wants, and I also think that if this is his like chill concert, he wears a wig, and so he has a different hairstyle.
Oh,
For
that's
the
right,
show.
because Deltons are bald. I forgot.
Yeah,
Does he play the mouth harp?
I mean, who doesn't play the mouth
just like
harp?
Snoopy. Just like
Nice,
Snoopy.
nice.
If he doesn't do it, it's the Romulan that is in his band that plays it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
watching a Romulan play mouth harp is a great idea for a shirt.
Please tell me it's a couple of Ferengis that are running his merc counter.
Probably.
Yeah,
Well, at least one. but-
yeah. Man, now, okay, we gotta talk to Justine. We need a
some merch.
Federo Hoth and his Hothian
And-
woos trio or
Yeah.
quintuplet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll work out the details on that, and it'll have a list of like tour dates on the back.
Yeah.
Systems, yeah.
That'd be great. So yeah, it goes by pretty easy. Not a lot, not drinking like it was last night, but a lot of what's being served is typically synthahol anyway. Unless like people ask for actual alcohol. Everybody seems pretty chill, and then the concert ends. He kind of last night they kind of packed up and got everything out of the way. Tonight they kind of just leave it where it's at, set up for the next set, and he and the band kind of sit down to grab a meal together at a table that's probably bigger than it needs to be for just the small group of them. And when Zeke, when he sees you, he motions for you to come over and grab a seat with them. Introduces you around to the band members that you probably already knew at least who they were, but like, he's polite and make sure you know everybody.
I'll make a polite appearance, but I probably wouldn't like do the full meal. I'd want to give them their time and space.
Yeah, they seem pretty chill, but it's clear that like theirs is a business relationship, if that makes sense. Like they're not buds, but they're not unhappy with each other either. So they kind of hang out there. The day on the ship goes pretty well. Commander, are you doing anything special that day?
No, I'll probably go to the other two concerts. I just keeping an eye on things like normal.
Sure. The rest of the afternoon goes by. Victor, you get a message, almost like an email. Like he didn't text you, like he didn't tap his comm and talk directly to you, but he sent something to like your shipwide communication system.
Sure.
That just was like, hey, saw the doctor, not dying. He fixed my hip. I probably should stop drinking so much, so I'm gonna. It's like real short and like to the point, but kind of informs you on what's going on.
I respond, or no, I leave it on red.
Oh,
But
that's mean.
I will make a point to probably go to one of his later shows or try to catch up with him after my rounds.
Sure. So let's talk about your time. Actually, you and the commander find yourselves down in the shuttle bay. Part of chief con officer is that you go over the shuttles occasionally, but you have
Sure.
that stolen or that pirate ship.
Yes, that I tried to blow up by accident.
Yeah. The engineering team has undone a lot of the dangerous retrofitting. The ship will run, but they're having some problems with the flight control. So you've come down to kind of check it out. The commander came down just to check in on what's going on with it. Victor, why don't you give me a control engineering check? I don't think your engineering's super great, though, is it?
Alrighty, it's a 3. It's not
Oh.
terrible.
Oh yeah, it's not bad.
so,
It's not bad at all.
And I rolled a 1 and a 7, so that's 3
Oh.
successes.
And actually, we're gonna call this small craft. So that's. Oh yeah, so one already. Yeah, never mind. Doesn't matter. So yeah, 3 successes. It was a difficulty of 1, so you're already capped. You have a couple other pieces of information if you want to grab anything on this ship while you're doing it.
I just want to. Yeah, can I? Let's see. How can I get information? I guess the information that I would like to know is, I would like to make it so that whoever had it before cannot somehow remotely take helm control.
Sure.
If
So
they find it.
So that's like technically questions, but that's perfectly fine. That's kind of an advantage thing, and I'm 100% behind that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. I'm not sure.
You,
how
you
to
changed the
add it,
Wi-Fi password.
Creating an advantage, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. And then you also you find a way to kind of realign a couple of things so that it's going to handle a little bit better. It was already a pretty dexterous craft, but you get it to work a little bit better in the ways you need it to. Commander, you kind of come in while Victor's like laying down on the floor up under the front console, like wires kind of hanging down. She's got a tool set down there, kind of fiddling and fixing or unfixing things.
How's the mystery
Yeah, I
ship
mean-
treating us, Victra?
Well, it could be better, Commander, but I think I've got the problems that we were having with the aft thrusters, and I'm hoping that I'll have the port thrusters ready to go for our first test flight sometime next week.
Wonderful news. You looking forward to piloting it?
I have never gotten to fly something like this, so yes, I am very excited to take it out and see what it can do. Although I'm quite confident that it's going to outpace our shuttles by quite a bit.
I would imagine so. It looks like a speedy thing.
Yeah, I would. Honestly, I would like to race the Defiant if I could ever get Commander Worf to let me to agree to a race.
I do love a good race. The shuttles would just
Right?
get left in the dust, or I would take you up on that in a heartbeat.
Oh man, we'll have to get out far enough in the Gamma Quadrant to where they nobody will know, and we'll just wait for Threx to not be looking, and we'll just take a couple shuttles and go.
Sounds delightful. So are you holding up okay?
I assume you mean with my father on board?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a talk. His first night here. I have not seen him yet today or spoken with him, but I plan to go to his show later. I feel that it's only appropriate and polite. I get the feeling he's here for reasons other than just playing a show and showing off as he used to do when I was younger, but I don't know what those reasons are. He tells me he's not dying. I'm not convinced.
That's fair. It's always hard to understand other people's motivations when they seem to change suddenly.
I'm not trying to take the high road or even be a better person. It's never been the way that I do things.
Sure.
I am a pilot. I will just get in the cockpit and leave. That is how I generally deal with my issues, which honestly I believe is a trait I got from him. So I suppose I should thank him in some way for the drive to succeed in what I do. But I'm not used to him. Even when he used to tour to Delta 4, I maybe saw him a handful of times before I was 10 years old. And we've never discussed or talked about anything. And now he's telling people that he's heard good things about me and that people remind him of me. And I don't know how he could have any point of reference to say things like that. And I don't know what his game is.
That sounds very difficult to be dealing with. I don't know if he would tell you if you asked him outright, but maybe you could express why you're concerned.
I mean, I did ask him if he was dying.
Yes.
I can ask him. I know there is a deeper conversation that is going to have to be had. I don't know. I'm still in a very confused and frustrated place about it because if he wanted to reconnect, huh?
Because he just showed up.
Well, he just showed up, and if he wants to reconnect, he doesn't have to bring the band. But he always has the band. Like, since I was a little girl, he's never come alone. He's always has an entourage, and it's like, I know that my mother was not a good place to settle. I get that. I don't know if you've read my file or how familiar you are with my background, but it wouldn't have been a good life for anyone if he'd have stayed at home. But he sure as hell didn't have to leave me there to figure it out on my own.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that.
That said, oh, please go on.
Maybe that's what you really need to say to him then, is you don't have to bring the band.
Yes, I suppose that could be the case. I'll see how it goes when I speak with him later.
Absolutely.
Right now, Marjorie here has consumed a lot of my time today.
Yes.
Marjorie.
But it's good to have something to focus on.
Oh, absolutely.
That isn't Hothian woos.
I'll be there, seeing if I like it. I'm still undecided, so.
Believe me, no offense if you don't. It is. His music was very popular on Delta, but he played far more traditional pieces when I was younger, and now he's just. I don't know what this is. Maybe he just has dementia. Maybe he's just. I don't know. Maybe it's some sort of brain degeneration. I don't know.
I would hope.
I'm going to talk to the doctor.
Yeah, I would hope that the good doctor scans would have caught something like that.
I mean, maybe. He's been focused on his hip. The hip is a long way away from his brain, but
fair.
I did a full scan. Throwing shade at the doctor.
Well, I will leave you to your tinkering. I know that's very soothing, and I will go read up on the logs on this, the other parts of this, and I hope we get her running soon.
That would be wonderful. I think, Commander, that Margie here is ready to go, or she's raring for a good flight. So We'll get her. I do want to get her hull amended so it looks a little less piratey.
Piratey?
Actually, can I get you to give me one more? We'll call it control engineering.
Sure. That's a 6 and a 10, both under 14.
So this ship is as ready as it's going to be. You have everything properly remapped. The engineering teams have been coming here and redone everything. They probably could have done what you just did, but like they wanted to leave it to a con officer to take care of the con. The outside of the ship is set for chasing down pirates, if that is something you wanted to do, which has been brought up, I don't know, 6,000 times by the chief of security.
Yeah.
So it is good to go that way. And you feel pretty confident that you or Lieutenant Stern or even several other officers that are pilots would be comfortable and good at flying this. And you're right, it is not just faster, but it is more maneuverable than most of the ships you have, just from its design of its engines, which are odd compared to Starfleet engines. It makes choices that Starfleet would not, because they're not as safe. They're not dangerous. They're just like not as safe.
Sure. Did this ship come equipped with a cloaking device?
No.
Okay.
It does have a scan scattering field, but it's not great.
Okay.
It basically just makes it a little bit harder to find instead of like completely disappearing.
Like some sort of jamming.
Yeah.
Sensor jamming. Okay. Fantastic. Of course, should I find that there's evidence of a cloaking device, I know that is against Starfleet protocol and the Treaty of Bajor, and I will make sure that that goes into the proper hands and everyone knows appropriately. I make sure everyone in the bay can hear me say that aloud.
Actually, technically, the treaty says that you can't have it in the alpha and beta quadrants, and technically, you're not an alpha or beta quadrant. Technically.
I love technicalities.
Flying is very technical.
I mean, Cisco used a lot of those technicalities to make it okay for him to do whatever the hell he wanted. So, it is absolutely raspberry jamming. 1000% raspberry jamming.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys finish up there. The ship is ready to go. You feel pretty confident about it. You like the feel of it. Like the seat even feels right. Like you're used to sitting in the chair on the bridge, and it's a little stiff, but it's comfy. This grips you. So if you're going to take a hard turn and the inertial dampeners don't hold you as well, you're going to take those G's pretty okay. It won't hurt anything. So
big pimpin', spending G's.
Yes, exactly.
If it is not obvious, Halada is very envious that you're going to get to pilot this because she doesn't get to have as much fun since she became a commander.
Well, I may not say it at this point, but Victra's goal will be to have Halada on the first flight if she wishes. Commander gets priority over the lieutenant. Stern.
All right. So the last concert of the night, I think that's where we're headed, right? Is everyone in attendance? I mean, I know Zeke's there. Zeke never left from the third concert. He's raring to go.
He just camped out. Yeah, he's like, this is my chair, this is my table. I have
front
all my
row,
food, my snacks.
Yeah, he got front row, front center, and he's like, I'm not leaving the spot.
Yeah,
except to go eat with the band, which I'm sure, as polite as he was squeeing on the inside.
Oh yeah.
He has a pad set to record. Like he's got this whole live performance that he's gonna bootleg on the extranet.
So the show goes really well. The last episode or the last song comes up, and he says, "Now we've been playing stuff that we've been playing for years, and I know that not everybody is the biggest fan of Hothian woos, but this last song is something I wrote recently, and it's about mistakes." And then he just plays this song that there is no undertone. It is very blatant about mistakes you make and how you have to fix them, and how confusing that can be. And as he kind of wraps up, I would like all of you to give me an insight. We'll call it. We'll call it command. Insight command.
Target.
I will say, I don't. I've heard of a rules variant where you can roll 2 attributes if a discipline does
Oh,
not apply. You
and then
just
just
take
half one of them.
you have and round up one of them for your value, and that applies oftentimes to like hobby rolls and things like that. Things that
Yeah, let's go with insight and reason, and have your reason.
Okay.
Round up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what's our target?
We're looking for 2 successes.
I got 2.
2.
Cool. So all 4 of you recognize that it's clearly a very deeply personal song, but then moreover, the whole song he sung, he sang to one person in the crowd. Like it like the rest of the crowd didn't matter. The band didn't even really matter. Victor, I'm sure this makes you incredibly uncomfortable.
Incredibly uncomfortable, but I'm still sitting kind of in the back. So I'm like, hopefully no one noticed. It was if he was like just like making eye contact and stuff.
Well, that first row, probably not Zeke included, they don't seem to notice at all because they're really into this guy. He's a good guy and they like him a lot. But everybody else doesn't. Nobody else seems to really pick up on anything. They haven't seen a lot of those interactions, so they don't have the context to really put it together. But the other 3 officers they've spent a lot of time with, and probably like Tox, who's been around for a couple of these interactions, they probably all know. And Tox isn't there, but were he there, he would know because he's not coming to a concert of woos that he doesn't have to show up for.
Right.
Zeke's probably a little teary-eyed.
Yeah.
Halada is going to
Zeke is
pretend
crying on the front row.
Halada's going to pretend she didn't notice because she has given her advice on this and is not interfering anymore.
Keed is not going to interfere, but it's making him reflect on his relationship with his mother.
Yep. So the song comes to the close. The band kind of sets everything down. The crowd is happy and they clap, but there's some like self-reflection that's happening in several parts of the crowd, and it's very clear that this hit home a little more than it should have, and is not the way you end a concert, not on purpose. So the crowd kind of like shuffles out relatively quickly. The band doesn't even get to like say hi to anybody, but most of the crew that wanted to say hi has already done that. Um, uh, Federo talks to his bandmates for a couple minutes. He packs up a couple of instruments, has them take them away. He grabs a data pad that's kind of sitting in the back, and sits down. Doesn't look around, just kind of sits down at a table by himself with a drink, and like taps at the pad a bit, and just seems to be relatively comfortable.
I take my blackberry spritzer and I make my way up to where he's sitting. Actually, I stop at the bar first. Did he already have a drink, did you say?
Yeah, he's got a drink.
Well, I'm going to bring him another one.
Sure.
But it's
sure.
not going to be Akamarian brandy. It's going to be
Well, and he is not drinking Akamarian brandy. It's very
good.
clear.
Okay, actually I'll ask off. What is he drinking?
He's drinking just a synthale. It's he took a drink of it and told me it was the worst thing he ever had, but this is the way it is now. And he went and sat down. What's going on with him?
Give me one of my I mean, synthale is better for you. Give me another one of what I'm drinking.
Okay. Yeah. He puts it out there for you.
All right, I take 2 blackberry spritzers to the table. And I was like, synthale will kill you faster just because it's disgusting. Here, try this.
He chuckles a little bit and puts his pad down. He takes a drink and that is that's different.
Refreshing.
Yeah, in its own way. I definitely something that could grow on me.
You can make it with Sprite if you prefer.
That listen, there's only a couple of things I liked about Earth. Like that would make me want to go back. And some of the trails, especially like up in the Urals in Russia, they were beautiful. The Zeke, he took me to something called the Redwood Forest. We went on a trail there, absolutely gorgeous. Some of the most peaceful forests I've ever been in.
Indeed, I tend to stay out of the Urals because I've read some pretty horrific things that happened in the 20th century there.
Hmm.
But a hollow program would be far better than just stay out of the pass.
But Sprite and a cheeseburger, those two things make Earth completely worth it.
You know, they replicate a pretty good cheeseburger on board.
Really? All right.
I would compare it to Reggie's Diner in San Francisco.
I've eaten at Reggie's. It's really good. It's like
I
there's the right amount of grease kind of sticking to the walls, right?
Reggie's was the number one reason why I had a hard time making my weight class in boxing when I was in the academy.
I mean, if you're gonna have a reason, that one Reggie's is not a bad one to have.
You know, I mean, I have access to some of the best medical care in the world. A
Yeah,
cheeseburger's not going to kill me. If
yeah,
let me put it this way: if a cheeseburger is the thing that kills me, then I lived a pretty boring life in Starfleet.
yeah. Dr. Haskins is he's pretty bright. I like him.
He's a good guy. A little more fond of Klingon operas than most of us half humans, but you know,
Yeah,
he
well,
does his best.
I have found that Klingon operas end up being in their blood. I don't know what it like. I'm a fan of a Klingon opera once in a while, but some of the more obscure ones, whew, oh, I cannot handle those. But every Klingon, half Klingon, quarter Klingon. I met this kid named Alexander. I think he's related to a Starfleet officer. He's like quarter Klingon. He loved Klingon opera. Said it made his blood flow. Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
weird.
Yeah,
It makes me, it makes blood flow out of my ears sometimes. But
yeah.
uh, and that includes your cover of Sword of Kalis at Dawn. It
I mean,
was a good effort.
if you're gonna
But
cover
it was
something,
bad.
that's the one to do, right?
It'll definitely bring them out of their homes.
Yeah,
Is that how they say? um. So what time does your shuttle leave tomorrow?
Transport is supposed to take us to that weird rogue planet sometime in the early morning. I think I'm beaming out at like 06:30.
Yeah. Do you have time to go on a hike in the Urals before you go?
Oh, I'll make time. I can sleep on the transport. That's fine.
Um, I do think we have some things that we need to discuss, and I would like to know more about these priorities that you say that are changing. But
Yeah.
you have to understand that there is a lot that has gone unsaid for a very long time, and I have said quite a bit to you, to be quite honest.
Yeah. I wouldn't think it unfair for you to give me a close watch for a while, for a long while even. I've got a lot to make up for. I know that,
Have
and I don't even think I
have
can make up
you?
for it.
Yeah, don't worry about trying to make up for old sins. Just try to stop. making new ones.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to my mother lately?
I've tried. It's hard to get her on the communicator.
Well, she's spent most of the last several years in a haze of her own making. She doesn't talk to many people anymore.
And I don't know that hearing from me is always the best thing for her either.
Probably not. But I don't even know if she ever told you, but you know, I do have a younger brother that she says is yours.
Or more.
Do you visit all of your children like this?
Oh, there's a phrase I didn't want to have to say. The ones I know about.
Well, old sins, right?
Yeah.
I don't. If you don't know about them, I would assume I don't. But you know, they would probably appreciate your time as well. I don't understand necessarily why you came here.
You're the farthest out.
Oh, so you're gonna catch them all on the way back.
If I'm do this and you could be the last one because you're the farthest out, what if I don't make it that long? Seemed better to start out here.
I thought you said you weren't dying.
The doc said we're all dying. He's super comforting.
That's the Klingon part.
But the doc has a point.
On...
Like, I mean, we had a war for years. Like, what happens if you guys get stuck out here? You're the one that's most in danger.
Yes, but I am very well protected.
Listen, your ambassador has been very protective in a non-confrontational way. It was very impressive. I can see why he talks for the ship. And
He's a big fan. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah. It's nice to meet big fans that will still tell you things to you straight. That's always nice.
Sure.
And you've got a good doctor, you've got good crew here. Liv just looks up to you like crazy, and I think I understand. I wanted to try and understand you better. That wasn't anything more than that.
I understand. Well, these kinds of discussions aren't easy for me. Talking is not what I'm good at. I'm much better at flying, and I have a mean right hook. But, you know, if you're touring the Gamma Quadrant again, you don't have to bring the music to the ship. You can just contact me.
You know, I've been touring for a while. It would be nice to have a little vacation.
I was kind of wondering if when you said your priorities were changing, if you meant that you were going to stop touring.
I do love music. And if there was a place I felt like I could settle, that'd be great. But your mother doesn't want me. I'd rather not put her through the stress of being on the same planet as her for very long.
I would not want to go back to Delta for ever. I actually preferred Earth.
Yeah, maybe Earth's the place. They liked it well enough, and Reggie's got good cheeseburgers.
I mean, I've moved to places for far less.
You know, you said hike. I'd love to see you fly. I don't know if there's something on the holodeck you can show me.
Let me make a real quick communications ping. And
Sure.
if you'll excuse me 1 second.
Yeah.
And I tap my comm badge, Lieutenant Hoth to Commander Hlada.
Yes, Lieutenant?
I think Margie wants to go for a ride.
I'm not gonna disagree with you. We need to clear that with the captain, but I would love to see her fly.
If you grab the ambassador, I will call the captain and meet me in. I don't remember if it's in a shuttle bay or a cargo bay. Meet
Shuttle bay.
me in the shuttle bay in 15 minutes.
I will see you there. And yeah, I'm gonna go grab the ambassador. We're
Yeah,
gonna
and
fly
I'll
the
call the
pirate ship.
captain and
We're
I'll
gonna
be
fly
like,
the pirate ship.
yeah, can I take the pirate ship for a spin around the Cerynitis?
Dad,
Sir.
can I take the pirate ship out?
I probably am more inclined to call Captain Threx my dad than I am my own father. So
Yeah, he gives you permission. You didn't wake him, but it was clear that he had kind of wound down for the night. But yeah, he gives you the permission to be careful, have fun. We need to know if it's good to go for a combat mission anyway. So do what
Be
you can.
back by
You
1100.
you should also take the time to prime the weapons, see if they can fire at the planetoid there. Just give it a couple of shots off, just to make sure that they are working properly. And that's when the dragon wakes up and eats you.
yeah, I'll deploy some targeting probes.
Sure, that works too.
So Halada doesn't actually dance and sing that we're gonna fly the pirate ship, but she is very excited.
Yeah, and I take him down to the cargo bay or the shuttle bay.
Do you take Lieutenant Stern with you?
Yes, probably.
Okay.
She is a better pilot than me. I'm rusty.
Yeah. So like the five of you get on the shuttle or the pirate ship. You take it out. It's got a little, like, just as you start to take it out, it shakes a little bit, but then like everything hums in line. It's like something was out of frequency in the hum, and it's smooth. You do a couple of combat maneuvers. You fire the phasers a few times. Your dad is half terrified, but also clearly impressed.
The ship does lose gravity at one point, but it's quickly fixed. But he floats out of his chair a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys give a fly around, basically test the engines. You end up taking an engineer with you just to make sure, because you don't want to be out there without an engineer. But ship seems to work just fine. Everything's green lit across the board. Nothing seems to give you any problems once that first initial like shutter is out. And it flies like a dream. It's maneuverable. It's maneuverable in ways that are easy to handle for you, and Liv is picking up pretty quickly on what you've done with the controls, so she can do it too. And actually, a lot of you probably can as well. I think Zeke, you have a history of piloting too, don't you?
Yeah, I do a lot of stunt piloting. So
Yeah.
I'm
So like, so you
keeping an
basically
eye
took
out
all
for
the
it.
pilots in the
I did all of
in the
them.
senior staff.
If something negative happens, then the ship is borked.
All the ones who really like small craft anyway.
And yeah, it all goes really well. Your dad's very impressed. You land the ship back. You land the pirate ship back in the shuttle bay. As everybody else is kind of coming in, and the Liv goes to make report on how it performed, and so does the engineer. The ambassador and the first officer kind of give you a little bit of space. And he says, your dad turns to you and says, I'm glad that the parts of me that reflect in you fit better with being a more stand-up person than I was.
Let's say I learned from your sins, and I don't begrudge you that anymore.
Hey, at least there was something good out of it, right?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah. So that I think that's gonna do it tonight for us. That's a good stopping point. We hit all the points I wanted to hit. No dragons. I know you guys are all disappointed.
I was for sure that ship was going to explode.
Nope, I'm not. No, this was a here's the last chance I can do. I have to like put the ship out there so that you guys can use it next part of the season. As a couple of reminders, you guys can find us this Thursday, playing Illuminated Page. That's our Call of Cthulhu game. Come out for that at 7 p.m. Eastern right here. The Voyages of is going to be next week on Monday. Roxy is running Broken Shells and Ancient Bones. Rod of the Seven Realms is every Friday over on Lore Explorers. Roxy is playing a fantastic Dwarven Ranger who likes to eat and drink a lot. It's going really well. It's a fun story, and it's definitely not rules or module as written. It is there is some deep embellishment that has been fun so far.
We're
Definitely
taking
come
some
out,
liberties.
check those out. Fragged Empire is coming up from Rook and Rasp. That is in the near future, yeah, that's coming up soon. And then X-Crawl is coming up in October, replacing Monday night shows just through the end of the year. And then we'll be back to the Voyages of. We do have a second half of the first season of the Voyages of starting in January. We're going to get deeper into some stories, and we're going to move forward with that True Way story. I know everyone is chomping at the bit to go murder.
I believe that there's quite a lot of voting for me to just shoot that dude.
Yeah. So,
shooting.
come over and follow us on YouTube. Check out all of our past shows. You can see all the shows for all the episodes for this show, all the stuff for Growing Shadows and Illuminated Page, all of our one-shot stuff, all of our Seriously Let's Stream, even the old Seriously Let's Stream stuff that's like when we were doing it kind of as a like a test to see if it was going to work. That stuff's all on there. It's all a lot of good stuff. There's a spy craft game on there too that went really well.
Game. Yep. We got several little.
I can recommend
on there.
I can recommend Spycraft.
And you can go even see the Series of Less stream that happened just this past weekend and learn all about Sir Honkers, the greatest goose that ever lived.
Yep.
He was actually more effective in our pregame where we were getting used to the rules. Like, he was awesome. This game, he was there.
Yeah. So yeah, go check that out. You can check us out on Twitch as well. Go over to Twitter, check us out there. And is there a Facebook? I don't remember. Is there a Facebook?
You can hang out with us on the Discord.
You can hang out with us on Discord. I did drop the Facebook up. It's
Perfect.
up, and I'm hitting all the buttons. So
yeah, so check all those out, and definitely we will see you either later this week or next week. All right, from all of us here,
we're going to raid Q Times. I believe they're doing a Star Trek show too, so we try to raid them every Monday. Yep. So if you're interested in more Star Trek shenanigans, go check them out over on Clear Skies.
Definitely. Thank you, guys. Good night.
See ya.